So, I guess breaking news this afternoon, Bob Bowlsby is stepping down as commissioner of the Big 12. He writes, after more than 40 years of serving in leadership roles in intercollegiate athletics, including the last 10 with the Big 12, and given the major issues that college sports in general and the Big 12 specifically will address in the next several years, I have reached a natural transition point in my tenure as commissioner, as well as in my career. The Big 12 will soon bring in our 4 new members and negotiate a new grant of rights and media rights agreements. I truly believe the Big 12 and our member institutions are in a strong position now, and as we look into the future. As such, this is an appropriate time for me to step away from the commissioner's role so that the next leader of the conference can take the reins on these significant matters that will come to the forefront before the end of the term of my employment agreement in 2025 to set the stage for the Big 12's future ongoing success. That's what he's supposed to write. Did he just reach the breaking point where he said, I've had enough? I've been doing this for 40 years. I've spent a decade as commissioner of one of the Power 5 leagues. We're really not going to be a Power 5 league anymore. This is going to be a big headache. I'm tired of fighting. I'll just ride off into the sunset? I don't know.
You wonder what members thought of him. Because at the end of the day, I really don't think there's a whole lot he could have done to save the Big 12 from losing Texas and Oklahoma. What could he have done? Make the conference richer? Well, that's kind of the school's problem. Why is the SEC so dominant? With all due respect to the league office, who does a lot of things right, it's not because of the league office. It's because of the schools. So what can the commissioner do to make the Big 12 more attractive than the SEC? Almost nothing. But do you think if you're Baylor, if you're TCU or whoever, and you saw the special treatment that Texas got a while ago now, I mean, it's been some time, but...
Yeah, but they had to agree to those things.
They did.
The other schools in the league had to agree for Texas and Oklahoma to be treated differently.
So it's just a...
But it was like a forced agreement, though, right? I mean...
They didn't have a choice, did they?
Probably not.
I mean, do you think Texas back then was like, do this or we'll leave?
Yes.
So then, it was almost like blackmail. But I wonder what they think about him. Losing Texas and Oklahoma, and yes, they've done some nice things. Adding Cincinnati is great. It is. UCF is a lot of fun. Orlando, you can have a lot of fun in Orlando. And not just Disney. There's some cool stuff to do in Orlando. And BYU has a nice athletic department. They play good football. Provo's not exactly a destination for road trips if you like to go have fun anyway. If you like to look at mountains, sure. But if you want to go there and party for the weekend, not the place to go.
Or just drink a sweet tea.
Yeah. There's 2 bars in town, and like the same 10 people go to both.
They're dairy bars.
I wonder if you are leadership at the university level, you look at what's happened to your conference and you think we need to try something different because we have gotten worse. There's no doubt about it. The Big 12 in their profile, despite adding 4 teams, has gotten worse. They are a step behind even the Pac-12 at this point in terms of prestige in their membership. Sure, he could have made the decision on his own, I guess, but if I'm the AD at Baylor, I'm hoping new blood can inject some life into my conference.
You hope so, right? I mean, so the Big 12's got to figure out where they go from here. Who's the star? I mean, did it work out so well for the ACC and the Big Ten? I mean, you had John Swofford in the ACC retire, and you had Jim Delaney, the most powerful man at the time in college athletics, retire, and you got Kevin Warren in the Big Ten. And Northwestern's athletics director, whose name I can't ever remember, which maybe that speaks to his level of effectiveness or lack thereof. But you don't know what you're going to get either. I mean, There's something to having that institutional knowledge in place. But no, I mean, I think it's absolutely worth a roll of the dice on new blood. You got to be real careful you get the right person, though. Because Bob Bowlsby was stable, if nothing else.
And does this hurt playoff expansion? Because he was a big proponent of it. I mean, he was part of the group, right, with Greg Sankey that...
Well, whoever the commissioner of the Big 12 is going to be pro-playoff expansion because it's not like they've got Texas and Oklahoma in their league for that much longer.
Yeah.
They absolutely want a guaranteed spot in the playoff or an expanded playoff that gives them access when they're going to have a football league that is more akin to the American than it is to the SEC or the Big Ten.
Is this still
and that's not a shot at the American.
Oh. Is this still a butterfly effect from Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC? Is this still costing people jobs in effect?
Yes. Yes, I agree with what Richard said early on in this discussion, that he's looking around, he's saying, we're not what we used to be here. I might as well leave now. Not really leaving on top, but I'm leaving while the appearance of being on top is still in, and Texas and Oklahoma are still members of this conference. I'm not dealing with it when we have to try to convince people to take Baylor or Cincinnati or TCU into the playoff. He's getting out at the right time.
And he's also 70.
Yeah.
And he's been making a bunch of money for a really long time. And I would assume after working in college athletics for 40 years, he's got a pretty good retirement, pension, savings, whatever built up. There's probably an element of, you know what? I'm good. I don't need the sleepless nights anymore. I don't need 12 or 14 or 16 or 18-hour work days. I don't need to go through another negotiation process for media rights. I'm tired of conference expansion. I've had a good run. Let's go play golf and go fishing, boys. I mean, there's something to that. I don't know that I'll be able to retire when I'm 70 because I don't think I will be financially able to stop working. If at the age of 70 I am financially able to stop working, guess what? I'm going to stop working.
Whatever the age is, the day of the age that I'm at when I can financially stop working, that's the year I'm stopping working. If it's tomorrow, I'll be 46 when I stopped working.
No.